Now that you know how to add a new blog post, and I showed you that area where the author information should have automatically fed through, let me show you how to change that profile information. So on your WordPress dashboard, under this tab over here under users, you're going to click your profile. And you're going to input your name here. And this will be the display information that comes up under the author settings. So you can input your display name if you want your name to display publicly. So that'll be the name that actually displays. You can select it there. And then you can write a little information about yourself there. So down here is where you can actually add in a new profile picture by clicking here to change it on Gravatar. And then also you can also change your password for WordPress right here by clicking Generate Password. Make sure to hit Update Profile to save those changes. And once you've done that, we will now go over how to change the blog page settings. So once you have a blog post in, you've added categories, and you've changed your user profile, click on Pages, go to All Pages. We'll go to the blog page. We're going to edit with Divi. We're going to let that page load. Now, to change this placeholder content and the font area there, you're going to click Module Settings, and these fonts are set to heading 4 and heading 1. So just remember that for the design. So under Design, click the heading text. To change out this heading 1 that's right here, you're going to change, like if you wanted to change the color, you could change that there. If you want to just change the size, you could adjust the heading text size there. If you do change the heading text size on desktop, make sure to also change it on tablet and phone. If you want to change the spacing, you can drag that there. And the height, you can change the heading height by making it bigger or smaller. We have it on 1.3, so we'll leave it there. Now to change out this smaller font up here, you would click on H4 for heading 4, and you could change out the font. You could change out the color. You could change the size, and again, just make sure to change out the rest of the sizes as well, and the spacing. Once you're done with that, you can change out the placeholder content here by clicking, or you can backspace and input your information there. This subscribe button is meant to be a call to action for email subscription. So if you have a landing page, or if you have already like on Facebook or Instagram, something for people to sign up on, your email capture form, you can click here to input the link to that web page. So make sure to put that URL in there that will direct them to your email subscription. Or if you don't have an email subscription service, or you don't have a lead page or anything like that, you can click the delete button to get rid of it. This category bar here is where the different categories that you set up should show up. There is another tutorial under the menu setup that tells you how to create a menu for blog post categories. So it will filter in here, and you can come back to this page after you've done the menu setup and select the menu that you set up for blog post categories specifically. So we'll just ignore setting up the menu here for right now, but when you do make that menu setup, make sure to come back here, click Select Menu, and select the Blog Post Categories menu that I will show you how to set up. Now, to change the background color of this area, click on Background, and you can change that here. You can change the design of the font by clicking on Menu Text and changing the color there. The menu text color is set here. You can change the text size, the spacing, you can add a text shadow. For the drop-down menu, that would be if you had drop-down items, subcategories for blog posts, you can change those colors here. And then the mobile menu background, you'll want to change that to match the same color or whatever color that you do want. So it'll show you the background color on phone. And it will show up on there, but you see that line there. Okay, So once you've done that, click Save. So you'll see that the sample or the blog post that you already added in will filter through because I have it set to add in the categories, the blog post main categories here. So these are basically, the way I built it was basically if you have several categories of blog posts, it will feed through the main categories, these top few. If you only intend to have one blog post category, you can go ahead and just delete these extra boxes down here. There is also a feed down here to add in additional pages. So up here, only one blog post will show up at a time, but then I have it built so that multiple blog posts, all of your blog posts will show up down here as a main feed. So this is just meant to be if you have main blog posts or certain blog posts that you want people to see right away, or they're very important, or they're your main posts, I built that for that here. So for example, if you had other categories, you would click on the natural remedies. And if you had a post that was already there, it would show up. But since we don't, I would put in that was breastfeeding. So the blog post, if we had an additional post, it would show up here. If you had, postpartum, it would show up in there. So again, if you don't intend on having more than one category, go ahead and just delete these extra boxes here. So to change the way this looks, to change the font and the settings, what you would do is click on module settings. You see it right here that it has post count 1. I have that like that on purpose. If you wanted to add more categories and make it a slider, you certainly could. But again, we do have additional postings down here. Alternatively, you could completely get rid of all of this up here if you like the way that this looks, and you could only have this type of setup. Or you could add in, make this, a slider. You could get rid of all of the rest of these, and all of your blog posts would show up basically where you're clicking through to get the different blog posts there. So you can order them from new to old, or old to new, or in alphabetical order. If you wanted to change this button here to say something else, you could put that in here. If you don't want an excerpt to show, you could get rid of the excerpt, or you can have it show content. But if you have it show content, the entire blog post will show through, and it'll make it quite long. Now, if you want to not show the featured image, you could click there and it won't show. And if you did that, you would want to change the background here. So for the overlay for the design, you could add in a background overlay so that you could actually overlay the entire thing. You could change the color there. You could make it transparent by changing the slider here, or you could have no background color. Text overlay color, you can change that here, and it would change how that looked. If you want to change the box rounded corners, you would change that here. And if you went more, it would be more circular. And if you did 0, it would be completely square. If you wanted to change the image, you could do that here. Change the rounded border or the rounded corners there. If you wanted to change the box shadow, you could do that here. And you could change the different image settings there. If you wanted to change the title text, you could do that here. You could change the title font to any font that you want, and it would change that there. Change the title color, the size, change the body text. It's currently set to default. You could change it to whatever you would like. You could change the color and the sizing. You could just play around with that. The meta text is this text that's right here. You could change the color of it. You could do whatever you would like with it. You can play around with all those settings to change those. If you want to change the button, it is set to custom styles, so you could do no, and it would show up as the rest of the buttons are on your website if you wanted to. If you wanted to change the colors, you could definitely change all of that in here as we've done before in other tutorials. Now, scroll down, and if you want to change this blog feed right here, You can change the amount of posts that show up. You can put 100 in there, and so 100 would show up if you had 100. You can only have certain categories that show up here. You could have one category or all of the categories, and then also change the format and the post. You can change all this information here. You can change the background color. You can change the font. You can change the layout. You can make it so that it is full width. It's currently set to grid, but this is what a full width layout would look like, where it came with the picture on top and the information on the bottom. So that is how you change out the information on the blog page and change out the different categories. Again, we will go over how to change the menu settings in the menu settings tutorial. Once you do that, make sure you come back here and I will go over that in the menu tutorial and change this menu here to add in the blog post categories. Once you're done, make sure to click these 3 dots at the bottom and click publish or save the draft, and come back if you need to if you click save draft.